Palatucci mob family has been gunning for you since you robbed First World Bank, one of their money laundering operations. It might serve you well to let them know it will cost them more than they can afford to keep coming after you, and our interests happen to align. The Palatucci, those snitching vermin, called the police on one of my operations. The cops sealed off one of my packing and production facilities, but the family has key police personnel in their pocket, so most of the drugs will never see the inside of an evidence room. Disgusting and dishonorable. I can't allow them to steal from the golden dagger without consequence. Now, I don't want to start a full-scale war with the police, so I need you to retrieve my property for me. I want my merchandise back, and you want to send a message to the Palatucci. Here's the deal. Get to my warehouse and pack up the shipment. I will, of course, reward you handsomely. Keep in mind, this is an active crime scene, and the police will be crawling all over the place. But after your impressive work down at the 51st Precinct, this shouldn't be a problem for you.
Hi, I'm Q. This is gonna be a little different from what I usually do on this channel, so let me set the stage. On May 26, 2025, Payday 3 finally got an update after 3 months of radio silence. Update 14 gave us a new difficulty rebalancing, the Judge Shotgun, now renamed to the Justicar, an overhaul to the Overkill Weapons delivery, better inventory management allowing you to pick personalized outfits and characters for each build, and of course, the long-awaited Armor 2.0. Which, how long was it ago? That checks out. Among all these relatively positive changes, there was one other thing that was added to the game. What's this? A new DLC heist? Yes, that's correct. Payday 3's first new heist of the year is a DLC heist called Party Powder. The partners, who played it a week before, all had the same reaction to the heist. That being, they didn't really like it. They said it felt bland and it was a huge asset flip minefield. But we all understood that due to the devs are gonna have way less material to work with. Heck, people have already compared the heist to Border Crossing, due to them both being an asset flip, having an optional meth cooking objective for no fucking reason, and them being released during a time where the game would be considered dead. But if anything, I'd like to make my own opinions about the heist instead of taking others' words for it. So, without further ado, let's get right onto it. The lore entails... Wow, look at me using fancy words, okay. After the gang's first world bank hit, the mob family, known as the Palatucci family, who was using the bank as a money laundering scheme, decided to put the gang on their radar. Coincidentally, Shayu's warehouse was getting raided by the Palatucci, who hired corrupt cops to steal drugs from said warehouse. If they succeed, the cops would be getting a big news headline from the press for the huge drug bust they conducted, and the Palatucci family would be getting the cocaine they had seized to sell. Everyone wins, except for us. So, the Payday gang sprung straight into action once they caught wind of this. The heist is set in an abandoned train yard at night, with 3 warehouses containing coke, money, meth ingredients, and of course the fucking meth lab. Fuck, we have to cook? Ah! The atmosphere of the map is very moody, grainy, and gritty, fitting into that Payday the heist status quo we've heard since beta. Look at me using fancy words again. The heist itself has many different routes you can take to pull the heist off. Which, something the partners got wrong is the heist actually has some decent enough RNG elements. Sure, it's not much when compared to other heists, especially the ones we've had a year before this, but still. These cargo containers also change throughout each session, as well as this train card. Again, decent enough to make it not feel like you're playing for Golden Shark. The main loot, coke, will be stored in wooden crates that work like how Shadow Raid's crates do. Some of them will have coke in them, and some of them don't, depending on RNG. And of course, we have the spawns. There are 4 spawns in the heist: the alleyway, the rooftops, and 2 in the train yard. Some being more preferable than the others, making each playthrough... Fine, I'll talk about the meth lab. Yes, this heist has an optional meth lab objective. And no, it's not very optional when you're like me and like to do all loot runs. The meth cooking objective is the same thing as every non-cook-off heist that has a Breaking Bad reference. There's gonna be a whiteboard somewhere in the map. In this case, it's here and here. The whiteboards will show the ingredients as orders. If you play Payday for long enough, you'd know exactly what happens when you put the wrong order in. Apart from that, it's the same thing as always. Put ingredients in, wait for it to cool down, add more ingredients, wait for the rock candy looking ash to turn from white to blue, and then repeat. It's that simple and tedious. Thank God I only have to do this 4 times or else I'm gonna fucking lose it. Apart from that, the gameplay is pretty straightforward. Enter the warehouse, steal shit, escape. Oh shit, this is Shadow Raid, huh? Well, at least Shadow Raid without the Japanese undertone it was known for. That and you can go loud. Anyway, something I'm gonna touch on briefly since there's nothing much I could say that many people hadn't already said. Gustavo cooked with his OST. The song is called Gatecrasher. My god, it's an absolute bop. It fits in with the whole heist theme, being dark, misty, and gritty. Honestly, it feels like track 01, a leaked unused heist song for the game that wasn't used anyway. Also, I should add, Gustavo used the Masterful Deceit riff for the control section. You cannot convince me otherwise that this isn't the Masterful Deceit riff. The song may not be for everyone. Gustavo's songs nowadays have that, what I like to call, the pressure point effect, where the song will sound off the first few times you've heard it, but once you really start listening to it, damn, it's such a banger. Alright, enough talking about how the sky is blue. Let's talk gameplay. The heist's gameplay during stealth is probably the best part about it. There are multiple routes to get in. Left, right, over, ziplining across the entire fucking map, you name it. The map layout provides loads of cover, giving you better sneaking room due to the fact that you won't start in casing mode, as you're pretty messed up. Fucking hell, it's the Shadow Raid comparison again, for fuck's sake! Stealth on this heist is leagues harder, even if it is nothing compared to Fear and Greed, Diamond District, and that one. It still provides a neat challenge for you to do, even if it left me losing more than a few strands of hair along the way. To top it all off, all the guards on this heist, except for the one camera guard, are replaced with cops. And like in Boys in Blue, once they notice something off, they will not go into search. Speaking of search, if you see the garage doors for the warehouses, do not attempt to open them during stealth. Otherwise, it will trigger a search. Doesn't matter where you are, if there's any guards to see or hear it, it will automatically trigger a search. The heist itself is simple. There are 3 warehouses in the map. You need to find QR codes to get into only 2 of the warehouses. Whether it be from a phone lying around or hacking a guard's ass and waiting in the hack circle, once you're in, you will find crates scattered around the warehouses, in, of course, fixed locations. Here, you can also find meth ingredients to cook with. The last warehouse is where you can cook the meth. But first, you'll need to find a red key card, which is either on one of the warehouse guards, in a locker, or on a desk somewhere. The order of the ingredients will be on a whiteboard in one of the bigger warehouses as mentioned before. To access it, you'll need the same red key card. Once you've found both the combination and ingredients for the meth, it's time for the most thrilling part of the heist. Waiting for the meth to turn blue. Yay! In the warehouse close to the alleyway spawn, you can also find a locked room that needs a code. To find it, you must hack into a computer and decipher the right one. Much like how we did in Golden Shark, No Rest, First World Bank, you get it. Inside are some meth ingredients and a huge block of coke equivalent to 3 bags. There are also lockers inside of the warehouses with some cash inside. alongside 2 QR code locked container crates with extra coke inside. The camera guard also spawns in a container crate too, this time needing a blue keycard. Which, firstly, how the fuck can you breathe in there? And secondly, if you get this specific spawn, you are basically fucked, because the guard won't actually be there. If this was intentional, the Starbreeze dev who coded this is an evil fucking bastard, but I doubt this was the case. Nice to see AI surveillance still alive though, even after they nerfed the security modifiers. Inside the camera guard's container, you'll find an extra QR code to use and a donut box to distract guards with. This will neutralize an entire area of your choice, letting you pass by easily without getting detected. One last thing I wanted to mention, since the entire heist is set during an active police investigation, every single area on the map is secure, meaning most noises you make can be heard and investigated. Trust me, this has screwed me over many times. Loud is what it has always been. The alarm goes off, the security systems go on, and it says, "Fuck you, you're going drilling, bitch!" What this basically means is that once the alarm goes off, the warehouses will go into a full-on lockdown, meaning you'll have to either drill or thermite them open. However, the containers outside with coke in them and the rooms containing the order of the meth ingredients will still require QR codes and or the red keycard to enter, so keep that in mind. Since this is a heist populated by corrupt beat cops, this means you won't get a trade section during the first control, as once the first responders arrive, anticipation immediately starts. Basically, it's like Boys in Blue. One of the big upsides during Loud when compared to Stealth is that you actually have something to do while cooking the meth. Or if you're playing on very hard like me, literally nothing to do, which contrasts what I just said, but whatever. The other big upside is the escape variations. You can escape through RNG-based van spawns. Unfortunately, compared to other heists, there aren't as many unique van spawn locations, as these are the only 2 you get. But you can also get a helicopter escape asset, which at the time of writing the script, I didn't have, where Bile will fly in and pick you up. Other than that, Loud is simple. Get the loot, cook meth, optional, and escape. The final charge on this heist activates when you have all required bags secured, but it won't activate instantly. Instead, there will be a 1-minute grace period before it decides to go full 1944. The Loud objectives are straightforward. Drill into the building, check the crates, steal, escape. There's really not much else to it. However, since the objectives are so simple, this means the specials will spawn in much faster, so expect cloakers and dozers to be a problem pretty early into the heist. Snipers are an even bigger problem, as during update 14, they have gotten a huge buff in both their reaction time and damage, making them an actual threat again. Techies, however, yeah, they're still as fucking useless, as always. They still have not added Shade's call-out lines for her. I made 2 videos calling them out on this. Now with that said, is the Party Powder Heist DLC good? Yes, it's a really good heist for all the shit that I gave it. I think it's fun and engaging. Not that part. The heist offers a great indoors and outdoors gameplay. Kinda feels like a sandbox type heist like No Mercy. And the stealth is done phenomenally. This heist is really good for a free heist. It is no secret that Party Powder lacks the features that DLC heists have set a standard for ever since Payday the Heist. This, to put it bluntly, feels like they're making us pay for jewelry store. Or, for an even better comparison, they're making us pay for Shadow Raid. The comparisons to Border Crossing are completely justified. Meth Lab? Check. Acid Flip? Check. Released during a time the game is considered dead? Big fucking check. But honestly, seeing the company in its current state, mostly due to Bo Anderson being Bo Anderson, I think it's completely reasonable. I do agree with the community that this heist has no rights to be a paid heist, but judging by the situation alone, not to seem like a Starbreeze bootlicker or anything, I fucking hate this company and I wish all the devs decide to go indie and reform Overkill or something. Anyway, I think this is completely justified, and if anything, if the Border Crossing comparisons are correct, this means that Payday 3 might get itself a revival era. Heck, the new CEO, Adolf Christensen, also known by the community as AK, has really intriguing plans for the future of Payday in mind. Oh boy, let's check out his history of is that AI art? Yeah, I'd rather kill myself. I wrote this joke in June! How the fuck did it get worse? With all that said, I still think Party Powder is a really good addition to the game. It just sucks that it's a paid heist, but looking at it now, the abundance of free things added to the game, mainly Armor 2.0 and the Judge, I feel absolutely outweighs the bad. And that's all I have to say regarding the Party Powder heist. Again, this is my first time reviewing a Payday heist, and I hope you all enjoyed it. But honestly, please do not take my words as gospel. I highly encourage you to buy the heist for yourself and come up with your own conclusions. And of course, set your expectations accordingly. I am just a guy on the internet with autism. Please do not take my words as the truth. Reviews are naturally built upon opinions. Opinions should never be taken as fact. I am sick and tired of people in and out of the community blindly following something just because their favorite YouTuber said it, only for them to turn out disappointed with the product they have received. With that said, thank you for watching. Love you all. Bye.